Hello, my dear friends. Mario Pedro Gould here. You are now tuned into the Alpha Success Network. And in today's conversation, I want us to really explore the topic of self-knowledge. Self-knowledge. I want to begin by asking you a very powerful and transformative question. And the question goes something like this, my dear friends. Do you really know yourself? Do you really know yourself? Beginning with this foundation, I want you to just take a few minutes and look around you. You know what I'm saying? Look at the place in which you actually live in. Look at your bank account. Look at the relationships that you have in your life. Look at the level of success that you have in your life. Your physical body, your health, your wellness, your peace of mind, your harmony. Look at everything that is showing up outside of you and ask yourself, is this what you want your ideal life to look like? The reason I'm inviting you to make this inquiry is because I want you to really realize and come to the conclusion that everything that is around you, the relationships you have, the success you have, the home that you live in, the bank account that you have, everything that is around you, my dear friends, you have brought that into existence. You have brought that into existence. I want you to give up a victimhood mentality and reach the firm conclusion that you are cause. You are the cause of everything that is happening in your life. The good news is that, my dear friends, when you reach the conclusion that you are the cause of everything that is happening in your life, it places you in a very empowering situation. You are in the driver's seat of your life. You can make the necessary changes in your inner world that will result in a new experience coming into your existence in the external world. So today I'm going to share with you some ideas on how you can actually become the driver of your life as opposed to being blown left and right by external forces. There's an exercise that I do every single day, and I am deriving so much value from it in my own life that it has become part of my modus operandi, part of my standard operating procedure, part of what I do every single day to make sure that I am moving in the direction of my vision. I'd like to share it with you, and hopefully you can incorporate it into your own life and use it as a valuable resource to help you chart the course and stay on the direction of where you would like to end up over the next few years. So every single day I leave my place, guaranteed, I leave my place and I go to a coffee shop, right? And I get a cup of tea and I give myself 37 minutes. And in this 37 minutes, all I do is drink my tea and I think. Drink my tea and I think. And I think about everything that's going on in my life. I don't do anything else. I don't do Facebook. I don't get on my phone. It is just time that I dedicate to me, myself, and I'm connecting to myself and just thinking about what is happening in my life. And what I observed, ladies and gentlemen, is that as I spend this quality time with myself every single day, 37 minutes at the coffee shop, I call it tea time, I begin to get a better understanding of the events that are occurring in my life. I'm developing a high level of self-knowledge. So why do you want to develop a high level of self-knowledge? You want to develop a high level of self-knowledge because I began this conversation by saying, look at everything around you. Everything around you is being caused by you. And if everything around you is being caused by you, it is very important to begin to know yourself. Because when you begin to know yourself, you can begin to understand how you can use yourself to move closer to your journey of towards the realization of your success, and you can also begin to reduce the negative influences in your life that are causing you to self-sabotage yourself and send you farther and farther and farther away from your dreams. So I was getting so much value from this exercise that I was doing, and so many ideas come to me in those 37 minutes, and I said, hey, you know what? This idea is coming out. I'm not using them very well. I need to find a way to actually capture the challenges in my life and actually think about them and use them to create a more grander manifestation of success in my own life. So I went to a bookstore today and I got a notebook. And I said that every single day I'm going to sit down and pay attention to one specific aspect of my life. And today, the exercise that I did was I described all of my positive talents, skills, and assets. And I described all of my negative, what's the word? All of my liabilities and my weaknesses. And as I went through this exercise, my dear friends, I began to see how Mario Pedro Gould can exactly realize his dreams. And I want to share it with you here, and I encourage you to do the same. So I sat down and I started writing down my strengths. And as I wrote down my strengths, I came up with about 27 strengths that I have myself. And I'll just share with you a few of them here. I'm a big dreamer. I have a never give up attitude. I have great speaking ability. I am an ambitious spirit. What do we have here? I am curious. I am inquisitive. I have a high level of awareness, and I have strong decision-making ability in areas of business, health, fitness, and personal development. Now, the reason I want you to do a similar exercise is because once I wrote down all my strengths and I spent a few minutes going back and having a look at my strengths, then I began to see how I can use me, Mario, to achieve my dreams by leaning on my strengths. So I look at the different assets that I have, the different tools that I have, the different skills that I have, and I consciously, now that I'm aware about them, as I'm going about my day-to-day activities, I consciously invite myself to use my talents. So one of the talents that I had here was that I have great speaking ability. So right now, as I'm making this video, I'm consciously using that strength to bring value to you. Okay, my dear friends, we're talking about self-knowledge. When you begin to know yourself, you begin to find out the positive aspects of yourself that you can use to move yourself forward towards your own idea of success. And then I went further, my dear friends. I went further and I began to investigate my weaknesses, my liabilities. Personally, I have a belief. A lot of people say that you got to focus a lot on your strengths. And for me, I find that my weaknesses are the ones that are holding me back from living my ideal life. I'm very familiar with my strengths, but I keep making some mistakes over and over in my life. And if I don't take care of them, I'm going to wake up 5 years, 10 years from now, not living the kind of life that I want to live. So I took some time and I started writing down my weaknesses, started writing down my liabilities. And this is an exercise I really encourage you to do because it invites a high level of self-honesty. All change, my dear friends, begins with self-honesty. And when I wrote down some of the weaknesses, for example, one of them that I had was, I am too quick to act on my emotions without thinking. Don't you think that this is something that you need to know as you're going out into the world, that you have this weakness? You see, me knowing this brings a high level of awareness in my interactions with the world. I know that I'm quick to flip. I'm quick to act emotionally before I think. And sometimes it is not to my highest good. Okay? Impatience, is one that was for me. Here's a big weakness that I discovered for myself. is my self-worth is attached to my level of success. My self-worth is attached to my level of success. What does this mean for me? Does it mean that if I'm not successful, I will not be able to see my self-worth? This is something that's very important for me to expose from my unconscious mind and really have a look at it as I'm going about into the world, going about my day-to-day activities. I'm fiscally irresponsible. This is a big one for me. I've always been able to make a lot of money, but somehow, somewhere, I'm always spending all the money that I make, or I'm always going back and reinvesting it in other businesses. And just knowing that I'm not very responsible as it pertains to financial matters really forces me to think twice before I spend money, and spend money in alignment with my values. Okay, these are weaknesses that I'm exposing so I can become a better version of myself. I have a very, very strong fear of failure. I have a strong fear of failure, and this has a positive side to it, but there is a strong weakness in that, because I may unconsciously expect to fail, even though I'm telling myself I cannot fail. What else we got here? What else do I want to share with you guys? Here's a very funny one. A very funny one is, I find sometimes my weakness is I find myself sometimes to be insecure around extremely beautiful and successful women. Okay, I'm not talking about a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I'm talking about a 13 out of 10. If I'm in front of a woman that's a 13 out of 10 and she's very, very, very successful, sometimes I find myself insecure. I need to investigate that. I know the origin of it. The question is, how can I continue to grow into a strong individual internally so I can be comfortable around each and every individual that I meet, regardless of their station in life? Ladies and gentlemen, I have discovered that when I'm clear about the weaknesses that I have developed a high level of self-knowledge. And when I go out into the world, it really changes how my relational, my social dynamics play out, how my business dynamics play out, how my own interaction with my being, with my soul, and the world at large plays out. So I'd like to end this conversation how I began it. Do you really know yourself? And if you do not, I really encourage you to do these exercises, because ignorance, my dear friends, is not bliss. Ignorance is one of the main reasons that you may not be living life to the fullest today. Have yourself a spectacular day, and we will be back with some more powerful information.